Om Apyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshu Shrotramatho balamendriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarut Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam mestu Tadatmani nirate Ya Upanishadsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force become efficient and strong. All is verily the one without second, existence itself, the Brahman, proclaimed as the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. All is Brahman. Let me never deny this truth. May this truth never reject me either. May all the virtues necessary for the experience of this truth be ever with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel our inner divinity. I am Brahman. I am the all-pervading truth. I have no bondage, no suffering. This understanding, this knowledge is the peace. Let us be immersed in this serene peace. Om, peace, peace, peace. So let us begin with the salutations with which Shantideva begins this great treatise of the Mahayana Buddhism, or Buddhism as such. Mahayana is not to be seen as a particular separate sect, but a vehicle of Buddha, a vehicle by which we can reach the Buddhahood. So, Sugatan sasutan sadharmakayan pranipatyadarto akhilascha vandyan sugatatmasja samvaravataram kathayishyami yathagamam samasat. So by salutation to Sugatan, those who have reached the destination, and those who were embodied Sadharmakayan, embodied religion as it were, embodiment of spirituality. and I salute them with great devotion at my command. I salute everybody who is worthy of the respect and reverence. Now, with that, he says, let me propound this doctrine or this treatise in brief. We have been seeing that this whole idea is developing and preserving what is called Bodhicitta, means the mind that is resolved to attain to that state of supreme perfection, supreme enlightenment. That is, the supreme enlightenment is the bodhi or the state of Buddhahood, supreme consciousness beyond all suffering. That is, the bodhicitta is to tune the mind to attaining that. And when we are, working to attain something, our mind gets tuned to that. Anything that we want to acquire, like if you are intending to acquire a job, then your mind starts working and what is to be done to get that job. When you want to take up a travel, you arrange the means that I need this, I have to contact this, I have to find out this, I have to get the inexpensive or the tickets for the plane or whatever I want to do. All that, the mind gets tuned to the ideal. And if the mind is tuned to that ideal, then it reaches the goal. So, the goal is to go beyond all suffering. This is what we all want. Nobody wants that, let me keep on suffering. So therefore, the mind is to be tuned to that. That is called Bodhicitta. Bodhisattva and Bodhicitta are to a great extent synonymous words. Chitta also gets called Sattva. The mind has these two words, Chitta. There are technical differences here and there, Chitta and Sattva. So, Bodhisattva is the follower of Buddha, the follower who follows in the footsteps of Tathagata. So what happens there? If I am following in the footsteps of someone, then I reach where that person reaches. So, if I follow the footsteps of Buddha, where will I reach, Charlie?
Buddhahood.
Buddhahood, correct. And it is actually no-brainer, although Charlie is a very brainy person, yet this is a simple question that if I follow in the footsteps of Buddha, I will reach there. And in the heart of our hearts, we all want to do that. We all want to reach that state that is beyond all sufferings. And why it is called Buddhahood, awakened state? Because all the sufferings are the result of our not being illumined to the truth. We are in ignorance, and like a person sleeping is not aware of where he is and all that. So similarly, a person who is ignorant is not aware of the state of Buddhahood, who is that state, what is our real nature actually, that is our true nature, and it is just becoming aware of that. But now we have to do practice for that, and these practices are given. This bodhicitta is to be generated, we saw in the last class. Actually, this is continuation of what we were studying last year. So, last year also we paid a lot of attention on these points. Now, we will take up a few these verses where it is like chapter 4, it is about being conscientious to protect this Buddha or Bodhisattva awareness, that our bodhicitta is generated. Now it is to be preserved and nurtured. Otherwise, it will not be able to bear the fruits. Like a plant, say, for example, an apple tree. You have planted the seed and a little thing shoot has come out. Now you have to protect it and you have to give it right environment so that it will now be growing gradually. And one has to be very careful in that direction, because there are so many things right within our mind which will destroy that little fledgling plant. And so one has to take utmost care. And what is the tool for that? Do we have to order some tools? The tools are with us. Conscientiousness. We have our conscience. That is the faculty by which we determine what is right and what is not right, what is true and what is not true. That conscience is actually the God that we can experience right with us. The question of whether the God is there or is not there, somewhere that can be debated. But the experience of God we all have in the form of conscience, that whether things are right or not right, whether I am doing the proper thing or improper thing. There is that inner thing that immediately tells us, hey fellow, you have not done the right thing. Oh, now you are going on the right track, and so forth. So this conscience has to be kept very much strong, awake and strong. So that conscience, in all Upanishads also it has been described that because of conscience, which means introspection, that conscience is to be referred to, that like we refer to some expert, hey, what is the meaning of this, what should I do in this case? So one should refer the matters to the conscience. So that with that we know, am I doing right or am I not doing right? So even the advice of the teachers, our guru and whatever, we can implement only if the conscience is robust. Otherwise, what the Guru has told will get distorted. Oh, that means this. So it is, even if I am doing wrong, then I will quote my Guru. No, has said like that. refer to conscience, then the light will come. We know many devotees that what they do something for their pleasures or comfort and avoid things which are rather troublesome, painful, which the mind doesn't want to do, and then take up a quote from their Guru or Sri Ramakrishna that, well, Sri Ramakrishna said like that, my Guru told me to do like this. Now we know that if we refer the matter to the conscience, then we will see that we are cheating ourselves. Whatever the Guru has told, we are distorting it for our convenience, as it were. So, therefore, this conscience, keeping conscience robust, is a very important point in spiritual life, because if we do not refer the matters to it, it is not going to interfere on its own much. If you refer the matters to conscience, yes, it will. Otherwise, it may keep pricking you for a little while. Like there is that cars, you go and you are supposed to put on the seat belt. But there are cars, now if you don't put on the seat belt, then they start making noise. Kang, 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 and to prompt you to put on the seat belt. But if you still do not put on the seat belt for a few minutes, it stops making that noise. So it is, why? Because it sees that its notice is disregarded. It sees that it has done its job of making you aware. I mean, the car itself is not going to take the belt and put it around you. It is, of course, there are cars like that also. In old time, there used to be one car. Recently, I sat in one of the cars that it is, as soon as you start the engine, the belt comes and you get locked. So it is. So there should be something like that, automatic in our behavior, that the conscience will immediately be able to control our actions. And those now people who are like habit of drinking and driving and cause harm to themselves, to others, to the whole world in general, now they are slaves of the habit, cannot stop. So there is a mechanism that is developed, that some little gadget is put in the car. You have to breathe in the gadget. And if the gadget says, okay, the level of alcohol in the breath is okay, then only the car can be started. So that is a pretty something that keeps you not driving drunk. But there are those, what should we call them, weirdos. So they disable that is there for their benefit, but they disassemble it, and then you can imagine. So we have this conscience, but we disable it. Oh, you are not needed right now. So that should not happen. So this is the chapter 4 is relying upon conscientiousness. It is not consciousness, but conscientiousness. That is the faculty by which we judge whether things are correct or not correct, good or not good, and right or wrong. So it is said here that it is I am reading a Sanskrit verse that it is Sahasa yat samarabdham samyak yad vicharitam tatra kuryan vetyevam pratignayapi yujyate. That it is we get into some action in haste without giving a proper thought to it. And so even if you have committed to do that action, still it is good to abandon it. And do not stick to that because it is wrong. Just because what happens many times we say that I said that I will do it. Did you give a proper thought to it without saying? In an impulsive way you said that I will do it. Now the ego comes and says, no, I am a man of word, so I will do like that. That's not right. It was not your word actually. You didn't think about it and said something. Now, therefore it is good to abandon that act, even if you had said you will do it, because it was not given due consideration, it was not pondered over. The decision was not taken after referring to the conscience. But if you have already thought about something, that yes, the path of this Bodhisattva is right for me, I want to attain to the Buddhahood, I want to become awakened. Now after all this, after having this determination, now it is foolish to abandon that it is vicharitam tu yad buddhe mahaprajnamscha tat sutaihi mayapi cha yatha shakti tatra kim parilambhyate. That it is, I have pondered over it well. I have consulted the scriptures, what the Buddhas have told before. I have consulted that. And now, therefore, I have resolved to do it. But an enemy steps in an imperceptible way. The enemies in the mind, they said, oh yes, you should do it, no doubt, but it can wait, isn't it? You are still very young. Now everybody here feels I am very young, it is. When another 10 years let them pass, then I will take up to this. Is it good to postpone things like that on some flimsy pretext? Why don't you do it now, brother? You have to do it right away. Is there any reason stopping you from doing that now? Saying that I will do it later? What is going to happen later? Nothing. Same thing will continue. That do not postpone, do not put it on some future date. Let us begin from that. No, do it right now. There is a Sanskrit saying that Shubhasya Shighram, if something that is right, Shubha means auspicious, right, that is conducive to your good, then Shighram, do it now, immediately, quickly. Because the mind is very funny, and now you thought of doing it, and if you put it for some later date, then by that time the mind may change, and it does. And so do not let that happen. Now do it right now, start right now. Later on, you may not have those very intentions. And Ashubhasya Kalaharanam, the second part of this saying is Ashubhasya Kalaharanam. If some wrong, evil thought comes to mind, and those thoughts are powerful, then if you say don't get out, it won't go out. But so tactfully you have to deal with it. Oh, sometimes one gets, let me go right now and give a peace of mind and to that fellow. It is, one gets very upset and angry and wants to just give a few blows to a fellow. Now tell that can wait, that can wait. Okay, you give blows to that fellow to your heart's content, but that can wait, isn't it? So then the mind says, okay, I'll wait till tomorrow. Okay, yes, till tomorrow. But again the mind may change, by tomorrow the mind changes, the anger gets subsided, that impulsive force that was going to, inflict something bad on somebody, now that force will die out. And therefore it is told to children, that it is, if somebody is going to say something bad angrily or give a blow, in my childhood that used to be the advice, must be now also, hey, count 10, count 10 before doing that. So it is now that after, by that time, the thing subsides. So it is, so whatever good thing you have already, it is not an impulsive thing. You are not taking up on this path of Buddhahood after pondering a lot, after looking at the experience of the great teachers, those who are the jewels of mankind. And you have seen their teachings, their life, and with this you have come to an illumined resolve. You have come to an illumined resolve. Now don't change that resolve. Don't put it for some later date to act on. This is a folly that we commit. That okay, I will start it after retiring from my job or after finishing this renovation of this house. Our Peter, who is here, Peter. So Peter Silva, a wonderful worker. But he told somebody long ago the story that, well, okay, I will paint your house. Do you remember, Peter, that you told Triveni?
That's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time
That I will paint your house. Let me see, when are you going to paint it? Oh, right now I am very busy. Then after some days, oh, I am feeling very tired. So the beginning of it itself took a few months, and then, okay, I have completed this part. I will come next week. Now the next week means not next week there. You have to take a few weeks after that, after a few, words, a few queries, then, okay, let me see if I can come tomorrow. So now what happens? The job, ultimately you completed, isn't it?
took a while, but
it took a while, but it was finished.
Yeah,
Means
was
something
finished.
that could have been done in, say, 1 week.
Yeah.
Took probably a year or so.
Well, it wasn't. I think it probably took a month.
No, not a month.
No, maybe 2 months.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, it is, but quite some time,
Yeah.
So it is. So that happens to us in our this resolve. That is a work comparatively, they simple. But changing the habits of our minds is not simple. So mind keeps on intervening. Oh, today you have done a lot, you should not do so much. Relax and then start again, maybe tomorrow or next week. So it is, we get all such temptations, so do not fall prey to those, because you have already thought about it and resolved that this is the right thing to do. Now, do not give it up. It is. So, then it says that what will be if I do not do the right thing? Think of the loss that I would incur by not doing the right thing now when there is the momentum. Then the momentum will be gone. And I will be inflicting in the meantime, I will be doing all wrong things of inflicting injuries to others, because the mind has all these injurious thoughts. So it says that think that how after losing the momentum where I will end up, It is, I will end up in a position at the rock bottom. So I have to endure, don't relax. I have learned many times that walking up, after a little while you feel tired, and then when you see a nice bench or a place to sit, then the mind tells, oh, catch your breath, sit for a minute, and then you can restart your journey. But invariably the 1 minute goes to 3 minutes to 5 minutes, and so if you really and then it takes more time for the engine to start inside, oh, come on, then some urgent thing to be done. You said you will sit for 1 minute, now it's 5 minutes. So this is what happens. You have to then again re-energize yourself and then start walking. So I have decided that howsoever tired I may feel, no, continue walking. At least don't sit. You may reduce the speed of walking up, but don't sit. Otherwise, once you sit, the momentum goes away. There is a momentum. Yes, I will attend the Vedanta Society, these lectures, classes, meditations. I will attend. I feel benefited by that. But if somebody for some reasons gives a break for a day or two for some work, then next time the mind doesn't, it feels lazy. Oh, 2 days I didn't do, nothing has happened, so let me not, take a break for now for 1 week. After 1 week, the thing is all forgotten also that I actually needed to go. So, Holy Mother said that, see, person of the eminence of Holy Mother, she could have said it only for our education. That one day she used to get up very early to meditate. One day she felt that, oh, today the weather is bad, it is cold, and I didn't get good sleep at night. So today I will get up a little late and I will then meditate afterwards. So one day it happened, next day again it happened, and third day now, Holy Mother, she immediately realized that this is how the mind is going now into the state of that lethargy, inertia. So with great blow to the mind, she said, no, I have to start doing today. And that is how one can do it. Imagine what happens otherwise, all that you gained in sadhana, that gets lost. You start from the rock bottom again, or your state becomes much worse. So here it is said, how someone who abandons bodhicitta can then attain liberation is beyond ordinary comprehension. Only the omniscient can know that. How a person who thus abandons bodhicitta, this resolve, and stops working in that direction, how can that person attain to liberation is beyond comprehension. Means by some previous lucks and all that one may get it. That is what is mentioned here. Only the God knows then how one can attain to liberation by not sticking with great resolve to this path. This requires great resolve because the impediments are so many, and these impediments are not outside. The impediments are all inside, our own anger, lust, and so forth. The delusions that we carry, they stick to our mind, and thus we find these enemies to be difficult to conquer. But they are not actually as difficult to conquer if we follow the proper method. So it is said there, the inner enemies of hatred, that it is the this is a very nice analogy, that हस्तपादादि रहित रहिताः तृष्णाद्वेषादि शत्रवः न शूरान् न च ते प्राज्ञः कथं दासीकृतोऽस्मि तैः. That how are these enemies? Lust, anger, the delusion, they do not have hands or feet. They are not endowed with great wisdom, nor are they endowed with bravery, and yet they have enslaved me. How could that be? The lust, how can it bind you? It doesn't have hands, feet, no weapons, and the lust is not known to be very good at warfare. Still, those things have bound me by what? Just because I am not conscientious. I didn't strive enough to practice. If I strive, then they have no power. Let us remember that it is only my indolence that has made them conquer me. And the enemy is not somebody else outside, my own laziness, my own delusions about myself, and thus we get enslaved by lust, anger, and all that. So therefore one should be careful not to succumb to them. And if we, then we will, it is, otherwise your state, you will go to a state much beyond the state of, the ordinary miseries. You will go to hell. Or since that word is not to be pronounced, let us go to, they will go to heck. So it is, out of anger, worldly people who are filled with pride will not sleep. What it destroys? Sleep. If you have the anger towards somebody, you cannot meditate, you cannot sleep, because these thoughts will keep you awake. Why this fellow did like this to me? This I will teach lesson to that person. The mind does not get rest at all because of these inimical thoughts. So they destroy us. It is out of anger, worldly people who are filled with pride will not sleep until they have destroyed those who cause them even the slightest temporary harm. The feeling of anger is like that. If somebody, imagine, that is why there is the justice system, and you should not take the justice in your hands. You should not go beyond the law. So why is there law? Because there is somebody has committed a crime against you, then according to the crime, the proportionate punishment should be given to that person. But look what my mind says. If somebody has not even given me the respect that I feel that I deserve, the mind brings so much anger, that fellow should be killed, has no right to live, that off with the heads of that fellow, such people, off with their heads. Is it right? Not right, but the mind goes to that extent. Even for those who have committed some little offense against you, or you just think that they have committed the offense. Actually, no offense has been probably committed. So, in the same way, now this is a beautiful way of putting it, that those things which do us slightest of the harms, against them also our mind makes such resolves. I will teach that fellow a lesson of his life. So it is, but then in the same way, I will not abandon my efforts until the inner foe of mine is directly and definitely destroyed. This inner foe giving us so many problems all the time. Lust does not let us sit still. I want this. Gone, the peace is gone. The resolve to go along the Bodhicharyavatara, that is also gone. So, therefore, it is that actually so much harm has been done by that. How important it is that I should get resolve to eliminate that fellow. Somebody says a bad word to me, I am ready to eliminate that fellow. Now this lust, anger, they are causing so much harm to me. Should I not do that to them? And I should do the same thing to them. That is, the anger should be directed to that. Sri Ramakrishna used to give this, that turn your angers, instead of some people, let the anger be turned towards these things, that why should I get such thoughts? I should not. I am a spiritual aspirant. I am the follower of Buddha. I should not be swayed by these, and so turn the anger, turn these various emotional streams in us to God. Sri Ramakrishna used to always say this in a very nice way, that turn them, that mod ghuriye dio. So they are moving in a direction to destroy them. Now you turn those very feelings to your this inner force, and thus they will get destroyed. And this is a very important thing to remember, that we have that anger, turn it towards these foes of ours. So it says, if those who engage in violent battles, strongly wishing to destroy those deluded beings who must suffer death anyway, disregard the pain of being wounded by weapons and do not withdraw until they have accomplished their aim. So, in the battle, the soldiers get there and they continue to battle in spite of the fear of getting wounded or killed. They continue. So, in this battle against these foes also, we should never lose the heart. Continue till we become victorious. Do not get afraid of some wounds here and there. Yeah, we get such wounds. Do not care about them. Oh, now what will my friends say if I do this? Oh no, I want to come to learn at the Vedanta classes, but then our friends ridicule us. They say, why did you not come to this party? Why don't you, we all drink together? Why don't you join? So we lose friends. Are they really friends? And therefore, let them be lost. Let us bear the pain and continue. It is the friends are those who will guide us to the right path, and not drag to certain those things. That there is a very nice poem written by Tulsidas, the great sage Tulsidas, to Mirabai. Mirabai's mind, was all given to Lord Krishna, and was therefore not following all the proper routine for a queen. And the queen has some decorum, all those things have to be done. Now she would just sit in devotion and sings to Lord Krishna, and that was certainly not liked by the family members, that, well, you are the wife of this king. Now there are protocols of behavior, and those things you have to follow, all that decorum. You have to dress in a particular way, and you have to attend all these functions with your husband. You are neglecting all that. So a censure was, always given on her, that, oh, no, you are wrong. Yes. Now, so she said, my mind goes to Krishna, what should I do? So Tulsidas wrote her back this letter, and that letter is available. It is in Tulsidas' well-known way of poetically putting things. He says, by those who are not lovers of God, even if they are in other sense very close to you, they should be discarded as terrible enemies. Yaddapi paramasanehi. That if they are not devoted to Rama Vaidehi, he says, then Jaddapi Paramasanehi, you have to give them up as if they are Koti Vairishama, millions of foes are together. Don't look upon them as friends, look upon them as foes. And feel that if they criticize you, that then you must be right because their attitudes are different. So if they think you are wrong, that is you are most likely to be right then, because they think that you are wrong. So it says that can you call that as that people put something to beautify their eyes, that what is it called in English, that kajal?
Collyrium.
Huh?
Collyrium.
Collyrium. Yeah, collyrium. So you put collyrium, but if that collyrium is making you blind, is it right to put that? So do not care if they consider you enemies or if they consider you bad. It is a good riddance. That they now do not invite you. Very good. They do not come to your place. Very good. One should thank one's stars that okay, it's a good riddance. So this is how one should mold one's spiritual life in this manner, that it is, if scars inflicted by enemies for no great reason are displayed on the body like ornaments, why should I not be prepared to endure hardships in striving sincerely to accomplish the great purpose? If there is a scar on the face, one tries to hide it. But if that scar is the sign of great bravery that this man had shown in a battle, that there were wounds, but in spite of those wounds, he didn't back out. He continued till the victory is attained. So those wounds you will proudly display as if they are ornaments, because that becomes the cause of your praise. Why you put on jewelry? Because then that becomes the reason that people will praise you. They will get attracted to you. That, oh, you look so great with these earrings and whatever, And so that scar, although bad, it becomes an ornament. So that is how in Shiva Mahimna Stotram it is described that Shiva has a scar, a big blue that patch on his throat, because the poison he drank to save the world. So now it is a scar, but for Shiva it is not a scar, because it is a great act done to save the world. So that is why one should not worry that this is after all a battle to conquer these enemies, and I will conquer them. So it continues like this. So and one should never blame others, because those things are not outside. What to do, my friend's daughter's marriage was there, so I had to go. What does it matter if you don't go? Many times I wonder, why people succumb to these things. One idea, I had in my younger days that all these ceremonies I had disliked, and everybody really dislikes them. But still, by the force of custom and all, they go there and then show forced smiles on their face and then talk, really speaking nonsense. So it is, but my parents used to send me, because I was in one city, they were somewhere else. Oh, we have to get there to go to that. We cannot come there, but you are right in the city, you go. As our representative, you should go. And then once I went, and then was thoroughly, it is that, in fact, to take the monastic life, some inspiration I got from going there, that, such a silly thing that it is. And then my dad asked me that, did everything was okay? Was that you liked that program? I said, in my opinion, one should not go to anybody else's wedding except to one's own wedding. If that is also not necessary, that also should be avoided. You can, no need to go to somebody else's wedding. What is there? So it is very important why one goes into those things and
good food.
Good
food. Good food.
Good food. You can get good food in any restaurant, without going through all this. Too pricey. The price is too high to pay. It is. And people give this argument, if we don't go, they will also not come to our functions. What does it matter? You also are saved from all those things. But this awakening does not come much. The delusions, we therefore say that they are in those objects. Those people invite us, therefore we have to go. And now, is it that you have to go? No, but you somehow, you want to go, and their invitation becomes an excuse, that's all. If they don't invite, then again you start whispering in a criticizing manner. They did not invite us, So it is like that. The delusions are not in the objects, in the sense powers between them or elsewhere. So from where can they cause harm to all living beings? Because they are just like illusions, I should banish fear from my heart and strive to attain wisdom. Why bring the sufferings of hell and so forth upon myself? For no reason. So, these delusions, they are delusions, so how can they harm me? If the snake that I am seeing, where there is actually a rope, that snake won't come and bite me, it is delusion. But I feel that the snake is real, and I get scared, and I get, because of that, I get a shock and die. So that is, we must see that none of them have any power to hurt us. So with dogged determination, one must follow this path. There is no harm here at all. So we shall stop this. I will chant the verse that is the last verse of this treatise. Manjughosham namasyami yat prasadanmati shubhe kalyanamitram vandeham Yat prasadachya vardhate, that I am saluting the great teacher Manju Ghosh, a form of Buddha. Sometimes Buddha is depicted as Manju Shri. So anyway, that great teacher, I salute, by whose blessings I got this auspicious mind to think he is my real friend, Kalyana Mitram, who strives for my good. So, and by his blessings, all these things increase as well. Are there any questions about today's discussion? There are no questions here. Is there any question there? Okay. So we shall conclude with the closing chant that Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Come on. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
I take refuge in the Tathagata, the awakened one. I take refuge in his teachings. I take refuge in his tradition. Peace, peace, peace. This closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.